Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, unfortunately we have another report of a man overboard on the largest cruise ship in the world right now, as well as two, not one hurricane to deal with right now. We have two hurricanes to deal with right now, and Bermuda seems to get hit the worst, but Florida is in line and a lot of other cruises have to be changed. In fact, 10 altogether, like right now. So right now, if you look, you will see that Hurricane Franklin is now heading off into the East Coast, off more towards, it's passing right now Bermuda, and it's directly in the path of any ships coming from New York, Boston area. So a lot of ships have had to change their itineraries. For instance, the Carnival Magic, the Carnival Legend, and the Vision of the Seas with Royal Caribbean have all changed their destination from Bermuda and have now moved it over to Nassau and other destinations in the Bahamas. The next hurricane you see is Hurricane Idalia, and it is currently off the coast of Cuba, heading to the west coast of Florida, impacting ports like Tampa, and it's going to cut right across into Southern Carolina, and it's going to affect even possibly, Jacksonville cruises. It's a bit of a guessing game right now, but if you look at its final destination on the end of this week, it's heading right back towards Bermuda. So again, more changes possible coming for Bermuda, and this one looks like it could go right over the island of Bermuda instead of off the coast. Could be very devastating for that area and that cruise port. And there are 7 ships altogether right now being affected by that hurricane. Basically, check if you're on a cruise in the next week here, check for itinerary changes. They're going to keep you as far away from the hurricane and the winds as humanly possible. They will avoid this at all costs. And I actually have a cruise coming up to Bermuda, but luckily for me, it's not till October. So hopefully this is all gone. But wow, that is a lot of ships having to change itineraries, and Florida's in for a doozy coming up very, very shortly. It should hit landfall, I think, today and start cutting across. And when it cuts across, you're going to see other ports closing to accommodate. If you get a cruise port hit Zulu, that means it's closed to all marine traffic, period. Ships cannot come in, ships cannot leave. So there is a possibility of, if you're leaving from Tampa, your cruise ship might not come in if this hurricane is coming over. Your ship may not be allowed to come in and dock for a day, maybe 2 days if the port is closed. The same if you're leaving on a cruise. And I think my buddy Tony is actually leaving on a cruise soon or today. I'm not sure. It's just, I know he has one near the end of the month. Should be very, very interesting. I'm going to follow his channel and see what's happening with him at La Lita Loca. Okay, we also have bad, sad news coming from the Wonder of the Seas, as guests have reported a Oscar call while they were having dinner. And when they asked a crew member about it, they said, yeah, it's a search and rescue, a man overboard, and they can say that they've seen searchlights in the water as well as a boat being lowered to search the area. Now, we haven't had an indication from Royal Caribbean yet on who the person is, if it's actual happening, or if they just had a report of somebody missing on the ship and they're looking for them, and they're also looking in the water. But if you look at the really good website out there, Cruise Mapper, if you're ever looking to find a ship location or anything out there, I use Cruise Mapper all the time to find out where a ship location is, and you can actually see the Wonder of the Seas change directions and instigate a search pattern out there. So obviously something's happened and they are looking in the water. Normally they will also search the cabins and ask guests to return unless it's clear and people have seen the person actually go overboard. Then they know for sure the person's overboard, and that's when they just institute a search. Otherwise, if it's just reported a person missing, they often do cabin searches, ask everyone to return to their cabin so they can do a head count, that sort of thing, and I haven't heard of that happening right now on the Wonder of the Seas. So that's a lot this year. A lot of things are up on cruise lines as they return from the pandemic. For instance, the cruise ports are busier than they've ever been. They're selling out. They are looking for more dock space. The cruise people on board the cruise ships have never been more. They're selling at about 110% capacity now. And yeah, a lot of things are up. Unfortunately, two things are also up. Norovirus has been up on cruise ships lately. We're already past the normal amount of norovirus in a year. That happened back in June. So we've already surpassed the amount that normally happens every year, and we were only halfway through the year. And unfortunately, people overboard has also gone up again this year. But as more and more people return to the cruise ships, more and more things can happen. And unfortunately, this is one of those sad news. Now, the weather that's reported right now around the Wonder of the Seas, around the coast of Cuba, is about 3-foot waves and very mild wind. So it's not like we're having 6 to 8 to 10 foot waves, which would make it very, very hard for somebody overboard, where a person right now falling overboard has warmer temperatures and a better, calmer sea. Although 3 foot is still pretty high when you're in the water. It's not high on the ship, but it's high in the water. Gives this person a better chance of surviving. And hopefully we have better news coming up tomorrow that the person was found or it was a false alarm. Even better, just a false alarm altogether. Well, I hope you appreciate this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.